Don't give up. Don't give in. And don't go back.
Wait a minute, I got one. So listen, I got delivered out of a 14 marriage that God didn't put together. And when I promised God that I was not going to go back, because remember, I was one that hooked myself up with this situation, and it wasn't God from the start. God had given me several times to be freed, and I did not take the door, because I was so consumed with my own flesh, so consumed with what I wanted to be with, and then so convincing to myself that I was the one that really, it wasn't God, had nothing to do with that, or me believing that God was. So once I got to that point where God was like, okay, it's your opportunity now. Yes, okay, God. I made a promise. When I made that promise, this individual, she tried to come back. She called me, told me that she wanted her marriage back and she wanted this back. And then not only that, she made it her business to come to my house where I was staying at the time. And presented her case, if you will, on why she feel that we should get back together. And I looked her right in her eye and said, God didn't show me that. And besides that, I promise God. So we cannot ever be reconciled again. That's not going to happen. That's not going to work. When my wife is saying, don't give in and go back, you have to find the foundation of what is going to help you stay strong, not to give in and go back. So the foundation that helped me not give in and go back. Had this never happened, I probably would have gave in and went back. But two things took place. God orchestrated me to be free. Listen, God orchestrated me to be free. God initiated, God said, okay. Because remember, before God did that, I had to still confess that it wasn't God. See, God don't move on a lie. He moves on the truth. God don't move on a person that's rebellious. He moves on a person that is humble enough to admit that they are wrong. Did you just listen to what I said? God doesn't move on a person who's rebellious and stubborn. He lets them be the inwits of what their decision is because they are stubborn. Does he want you to be stubborn? No, he doesn't. He wants you to he wants you to admit where you are. He wants you to confess where you are, and he wants you to repent. So he moves on those who are willing to be humble enough to repent, confess that they were wrong. So when I was able to do that, that's when God said, okay, here's your opportunity. Why? Because here's the door that's going to be open now. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that I had to make a promise to myself and to God that I ain't going back once you get me out of this. So those are two foundations that I had to lean on, and I was able to lean on. So when she came to me, I was strong enough to be reminded God opened the door. And remember what you said, Vito.
The promise you made.
The promise that you made. Those are the two foundations that help me be strong to not give in nor go back. So you're going to need those foundations to help you not give in on those soothsaying words that he's going to try to be smooth with to get you back in his grips. He's going to tell you that he loves you. He's going to tell you that he has changed. He's going to tell you that he doesn't, he was wrong. He's going to say all of these things that he knows that you're that he remembers
Yep.
that got you back the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to use the same soothsaying words. But if you have the two foundations that you need in order to lean on, then you're going to be strong enough to reject what he is going to try to do to get you back. Okay? Go ahead.
I want to add something to that, babe.
Go ahead. Why
I
shouldn't
know
you?
that I needed the wisdom of God in my situation as well. And I say that because I was with a married man. And for the first year, I had no idea he was married. He lied to me about him being married.
Mm-hmm.
And after, God delivered me from that situation, I was starting to do, what God was calling me to do. I was, in the midst, making sure that, I was being obedient to God. And he came back. And I'm telling you, it may have been a year after we broke up. If I'm not mistaken, it was some years. He came back.
And he still came back, huh?
Saying exactly what my husband is saying. He was sorry. He was wrong. He should have told me. He loved me. Tears in his eyes. I'm divorced now. Now, mind you, he has been telling me this for the whole
year that he was divorced.
Yeah.
So
And then now he really divorced this time. He really divorced this time.
Ah.
And I said, okay, no problem. Okay. But we'll see what God said. I knew what God said. But I needed, see, sometimes you have to deal with people in the way that they understand.
Mm-hmm.
So God gave me wisdom to go downtown, to pull up public records, because public records will show you if a person is married, separated, or divorced. So if he's divorced, God said, I tell you what, you wouldn't even have to guess, but go ahead and go on downtown, pull the file, and then make a copy for you, make a copy for him, and give him a copy to show him. See, he can't say anymore, it wasn't me. It ain't what you saw, and it's not what it looked like. So I'm crazy. So I quietly did exactly what my God told me to do. I went downtown, I pulled up the papers, and it just says so pretty, married. I got a copy, gave him a copy, and I walked away. And I never looked back. Just so he saw. I didn't have to explain myself. I didn't have to waste my time, my energy. I wanted him to see how stupid he still was and how in the will of God I was in now. That the little girl that he manipulated and controlled and had wrapped around his finger, she was dead.
So the wisdom is the foundation that you needed.
So in order to have that, you have to be able to listen to the voice of God. And he will give you the wisdom you need to defeat the devil.
Yep.
Without that foundation, I would not have had the wisdom of God. Without that foundation, I would not have heard God for myself. Without that foundation, I would listen to my friends who said to me,
absolutely,
girl, it's been how many years now? Girl, he telling the truth. It's no way he gonna be coming back to you all this time. Look at him. He crying. Girl, he loves you. You don't see that?
That joker is love.
Give him another chance. I heard all of it. And I said to myself, the devil is a lie. I even gave the sheet of paper, my copy, because I didn't need it anymore. I gave it to my friends at the time, who I thought was my friends, and let them see it. And guess what they did? They couldn't say nothing. They was like, girl, I'm happy you did that because he had me fooled. So when you go to that next level in God, that devil don't have a chance unless you give it to him.
Absolutely.
Okay? Next, take past hurt out on others. Don't do it. Which means don't skip your healing process. We've talked about that. And when it happens, if it happens, apologize. Keep it moving. Realize what you did and ask God to help you Don't watch certain images and TV shows.
Y'all leave that Lifetime crap alone, man.
You take on those spirits that you're watching. You want to be you want that situation to happen to you, which goes back to don't listen to explicit sexual romantic music.
Right.
Don't watch it. Don't listen to it. You put it in your spirit. That's what's being embedded into your spirit, and then that's what you are looking for. Don't entertain the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we talked about is entertaining the flesh.
All right. All the don'ts.
Everything that we talked about the don'ts is entertaining the flesh.
Right.
They are entertaining your flesh. Get away from it. If it's not edifying to your spirit, if it's not obedience to God, leave it alone. Plain and simple. All right? Anything else, babe? We gave you a lot of do's. A lot of do's, a lot of don'ts. Take heed. These are practical things. Natural, spiritual, practical things that you can do if you choose to. All right?